Chapter 45. Breaking Through the Boundary. Silver Moon City. East City Tower. Mu Qianfeng stood on the city tower with two of his subordinates, looking out over the sea in the distance. "I don't know how the Qinggranting conference is going." One of the subordinates frowned. "Helmsman, your decision was wise, since there is an evil dragon scourge there. Holding the Qinggranting conference in there is bound to be dangerous. And I heard that the sea ceiling boundary has been opened again, so it's hard for anyone inside to come out." "Yes, my lord. Although that Gu Hai has some ability, what can he do in the face of the evil dragon? Nowadays, the Hall Master is even worse than the old Hall Master. If you go there, just in case," that subordinate answered from the side. Mu Qianfeng looked into the distance and was silent for a while. "I'm starting to regret it. I should have gone in with the Hall Master." Alas, Mu Qianfeng sighed slightly. Silver Moon Sea. Millions of bronze men desperately chased after the ancient sea flying boat, not stopping for a moment. Many times they surrounded the ancient sea, and several times they narrowly escaped. "This won't work. If this goes on, the energy of the flying boat will run out. I will also get exhausted. And the flying boat won't be able to withstand many more of these violent rushes." Gu Hai frowned amidst the flying escape. Millions of fighters are chasing ore. It would be a death wish to wear out any longer. Entering the sea. Don't say it's funny. Entering the sea. The speed wouldn't be as fast as the bronze men. And Gu Hai also found out that the bronze men weren't chasing themselves with their eyes, but rather they were sensing. They could sense where Gu Chen's soul was, so it was useless to try to hide. Array defense. Previously, the island's big formation was so strong, but it was also broken by the bronze people. So what kind of formation defense was used? Escaping and not being able to escape. Sealing the sea boundary. Perhaps one could break it, but did this group of bronze people give themselves time? Seal sea boundary. "I have a way." Gu Hai's eyes steeply lit up. What method? You really have a way?" The Gu Chen soul stared at Gu Hai with a look of surprise. Gu Hai returned a disgusted expression. "Don't dislike me. At least I can sing quite well. You have a solution. Do you really have a solution?" "What can I do to help?" Gu Chen's soul excitedly said. "You shut up. That means help," Gu Hai said in a cold voice. With an idea, Gu Hai stopped avoiding the crowd of bronze people. Similarly, above the Four Directions Sea Island, countless cultivators looked at the image of Gu Hai's fleeing differently. Why is Gu Hai running towards a place with a lot of bronze people? Yeah, there aren't many bronze men over there. Why isn't he going over there? No, look, the bronze people are increasing around Gu Hai. Yeah, is he killing himself? He seems to be gathering bronze people. The scene in front of them made countless cultivators very puzzled. Before, Gu Hai was fleeing all over the place. But now, he was in a position as if he was waiting for a group of bronze people to come and gather. There were more and more bronze people. In the blink of an eye, there were already hundreds of thousands. Go. Gu Hai steeply maneuvered the flying boat and rushed towards a direction with the most bronze people. The countless cultivators who watched that scene stared in disbelief. "You're crazy. Gosh, you're crazy." The Gu Chen soul also shrieked in shock. Was this looking for death? What kind of person rushes like this? There were more and more bronze men. How could this even be an escape? Rumble. Sure enough, this time, there were more bronze men that had never been hit before. Previously, when they fled, they hit at most a dozen or so, and then they fled out. But this time, it was 800 of them, and the large formations on the flying boat all suddenly had a large number of breakages. Boom! After finally breaking out, the large formations on the flying boat were depleted for the most part. The speed of the flying boat suddenly dropped by a large margin. "It's over. What can I do about this? I'm still young. I'm only a year old. I don't want to die." The Gu Chen soul was in the midst of crying and mourning. Shut up, Gu Hai said, angrily with a dark face. Swoosh, the flying boat flew away once again. However, after the rush just now, all the bronze men were circled around to the back of Gu Hai. Earlier, it was a sky full of bronze men in all directions. And now, it was the bronze people all following the back of the ancient sea, spreading over the sky, forming an army formation that was dense and just as neatly chased after them. This is, countless cultivators revealed a bewildered look. However, they saw the flying boat heading straight for the sea ceiling boundary. I got it, Gu Hai, he's going to break the boundary with bronze men. All the bronze men together, hitting the boundary together. When 1,000 bronze men hit the boundary only trembled slightly. This time, 1,000,000 bronze men are hitting the boundary neatly. Countless cultivators looked at the sky in surprise. Sure enough, the ancient sea's flying boat wasn't flying fast enough. The bronze people were catching up, and in front of them was the sea ceiling boundary. Down. Gu Hai let out a loud roar. The flying boat steeply reversed and shot towards the sea below. But the powerful inertia still made the flying boat graze on top of the sea ceiling boundary. As for the bronze people, they were too close and did not expect the flying boat to fly downwards, but it crashed into the ceiling sea boundary. Millions of bronze people crashed rapidly. It was as if 1,000,000 meteors rained down, instantly bombarding a point. Rumble. Boomcar. A super loud noise resounded throughout the Silver Moon Sea. The sea water in the 4 directions instantly rolled up once again into monstrous waves. At the point of impact, a mouth 1,000 feet in diameter appeared. It's broken open. It's broken open. Look, the ancient sea flying boat leapt out. It really broke through the sealed sea boundary. Countless cultivators shrieked in shock as the ancient sea flying boat shot out ahead of the others, flying towards the sky in the twinkling of an eye. Roar! The millions of bronze men were however still relentlessly chasing after the ancient sea flying boat, roaring, "My day, big brother, you're Tara. I guessed it long ago. You're infinitely wise. You'll definitely be able to think of a good solution." "Luckily I'm wise," Soul of Gu Chen said with incomparable excitement. "Huyu." Gu Hai also let out a long breath. "What now? It seems like the speed of your flying boat isn't working anymore. They're quickly catching up." Gu Chen's soul glared. "Enter Silver Moon City. Silver Moon City has a guarding formation. Hopefully, we can hold this group of bronze men. Also, the driving spirit stone inside the flying boat is almost depleted. We must replenish it quickly." Gu Hai took a deep breath of cocoa and said, "Thinking with me. I thought the same thing. You're as smart as me," Gu Chen's soul said excitedly. Gu Hai once again gave a disgusted expression. In the Silver Moon Sea, on top of a sea island, Fairy Wanna looked at the big hole in the sea ceiling boundary. Her face was a hard look. HMPH. What's the big deal if you know how to be a little smart, big liar? But just after saying that, Fairy Wanna's face abruptly changed. What's going on, Huyu? However, it was seen that around Wanna Fairy's body, an extremely tiny thin line steeply emerged, binding herself. Steeply. Wanna was now unable to move by this fine line binding her, her body curling up. This is the silk thread of the Gu Chen intent, the old Mana Master. She shaded us. Fairy Wanna's face changed and said, not only Fairy Wanna, Sima Changkong, who was on a distant sea island, also had his face change as a silk thread emerged from his body surface, binding him up. "My lord, what happened to you?" a subordinate exclaimed. Sima Changkong's face changed. "Not good, is it, Yun Mo?" At the beginning, he used the Gu Chen intent to condense the strings to entangle our 600s of the masters, saying that it would be convenient for us to capture the Gu Chen souls. He had a premeditated plan. Why did he do that? Sima Changkong's face deeply changed. "Oh no, Yun Mo won't be performing that against his destiny, right? In another place, on top of a sea island, young Master An fled with Fang Mingho in a hurry, escaping to the island and hiding. During that time, the distant tsunami, followed by the millions of bronze men that rushed into the sky, even more so, caused young Master An to have a moment of inexplicable horror, cursing the ancient sea in his heart. But there was nothing he could do about it. Fang Mingho, wake up. Young Master An looked towards Fang Mingho. At this moment, Fang Mingho's entire body had already sprouted countless blood bubbles, and in this moment, he had already lost his voice. Hiss, dead. Young Master An's scalp tingled. While young Master An was afraid, steeply, a string suddenly emerged from beyond the surface of his body, suddenly binding young Master An. What's going on? What's going on? Grandpa, save me! Young Master An instantly screamed in terror. In an instant, the Zither Masters invited to the Zither Grunting Conference, with the exception of Gu Hai, who had escaped the sea ceiling boundary, were all instantly bound up. Buzz! It was as if there were hundreds of transparent Zither strings that connected from Silver Moon Island towards all the Zither Masters. Boom! The transparent strings suddenly pulled tight. Shoo, shoo, shoo. In an instant, all the Zither Masters in the Silver Moon Sea were suddenly pulled by the string and flew towards Silver Moon Island. It was as if they were lifting the strings while fishing. All the Zither Masters became big fish, being pulled violently by the fishing line and flying towards Silver Moon Island. Ah, many Zither Masters called out in horror. Silver Moon Island had opened a large formation, and the fog was so thick that it was impossible to see inside. One by one, the Zither Masters were seen being pulled and pulled back to the square where Gu Chen's body was located. No, Yun Mo, what are you doing? I can't move. Silver Moon Mountain Villa. What are you doing? Or fall to my death. The cultivators, who had been continuously pulled back, all looked at Yun Mo in anger. At this moment, Yun Mo pressed one hand on Gu Chen, and Gu Chen explored his hand to play in the air. A zither sound rang out, binding a group of Qingdao masters to come. Cough, cough, cough. Sinner, what are you doing? The old Mana Master coughed, as he looked towards Yun Mo in shock and anger. At this moment, the old Mana Master was also bound all over by a golden zither string. Around them stood a group of Silver Moon Mountain Villa disciples, all of whom had a look of determination on their faces. Master Zhuang, I can't watch you die. In my family ancestors' zither casting book, there is a heavenly grade zither soul exchange technique. Here are the best zither masters. Use their bodies. Give Master Zhuang a soul exchange. With a body exchange, Master Zhuang will be able to live, Yun Mo said with red eyes. Sins, that's a forbidden technique. It's something only done by Shu Shi. That's something that harms heaven and earth. Ah. Don't do it, Yun Mo. Just let me go properly. Just don't make a big mistake. The old Mana Master bitterly screamed.